This interview is brought to you by Creature Comforts Classic City Lager. Classic City Lager is good, cold beer. From tailgates to concerts, nothing pairs better with a great time than the deliciously simple taste of Classic City Lager. To learn more, visit CreatureComfortsBeer.com. That's CreatureComfortsBeer.com.
So we're here with Amelia, and first off, I want to get started with asking where your musical journey began.
My musical journey began, I think I immediately think back to like elementary school. I auditioned for the Alice in Wonderland play in the 4th grade, and one of the requirements was for the audition was that you had to sing a solo, and I was like, I'm gonna be the one that sings a solo. Like I really wanted to do it, and this girl with blonde hair and blue eyes, she was like, well, I look like Alice, so I'm gonna get the part. And I was like, but I can sing, so I'm gonna get the part. And so we were kind of like butting heads, and then I ended up getting Alice, and I was really proud of myself, and I showed myself that I could sing in front of the whole school and the parents, and it was a really proud moment in elementary school. And then ever since that moment, I was like, I love singing to people.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of beginnings and firsts and stuff, you recently dropped your first single about a week ago as we're recording this. So how does it feel to have taken one of those first big professional steps as far as making music a career?
Yeah, probably like 4 years ago at the, I was already thinking like it'd be so cool to put music out, and like kind of really started thinking about taking it seriously. And so even last year at this time, I was like, I really want to have like something out in 2018 to showcase my work and just let the world hear my music. And now here we are, and I've completed like my first major milestone as an artist, I feel like, and I'm very proud of myself. A lot of work has gone into it, so it feels good to have it out there.
How's the reception been to it so far?
Really good. Bunch of friends, old friend and new friends have been playing it on repeat. My whole team stoked. So it's gotten really good feedback, and everyone wants to hear more, and there's a lot more to come soon.
That's great. So would you say that it's more nerve-wracking for you, because now you're getting all these new milestones, and you're really pushing yourself out there as an artist? Is it more nerve-wracking when you perform a new song live for the first time, or is it more nerve-wracking for you to have this single out here and there's nothing you can do about it? It's out there for people to do with what they will.
Probably performing it. I love performing, but to perform something like really personal and kind of let it resonate with an audience and like kind of feel their energy back is a lot. Yeah, it's like putting a piece of yourself like on a stage and hoping people like connect with it. So yeah, but putting it out there too, and just hoping to get good feedback is scary too. It's just like putting out any kind of art. You're like really opening yourself up.
Yeah. And speaking of new songs, I was looking ahead at some of your upcoming song titles, and I hope I'm not spoiling anything. But I saw ones that were titled "Anxiety" and "Does It Get Worse" specifically, and it made me wonder what those songs are about and how mental health has an impact on the EP and your music and just things like that.
So "Anxiety" that stemmed from we first were listening to the beat. My producer Alex played the beat for us, and we were just like, I feel like this feeling, like it's like this eagerness, like the way that it sounds is just like we kept on comparing it to the scene in the movie where the really shy boy is getting up the courage to go talk to the hot girl at the party. So we're like, it's like an anxious feeling. So I kind of based the song off of kind of like that eagerness and anxiety of like pushing yourself to do more and becoming what you've always wanted to become. And just like having the pressure of everyone in that process. And then "Does It Get Worse?" It was more like a does it get worse in like a rhetorical question kind of sense, like from heartbreak or loss, kind of feeling like you've hit rock bottom and then being like, well, can it get worse than this, or like can it only get better? So definitely to tie in mental health. I'm a firm believer in like work-life balance and just keeping like super clean headspace and
So, and it seems that our generation particularly feels anxiety like really strongly and a lot more often than
Questions
other
that.
generations in the past, maybe even in the future. And so what role do you think that like really chill music like yours, what role do you think that has in helping people relieve that anxiety day to day? Or
I don't know, I feel like our generation, and like just speaking for myself specifically, like we are in this really amazing spot in life where everything is literally at our fingertips. Like with the power of social media and the internet, you can become an online sensation overnight, but it's also a lot of pressure. Like social media feels like a chore now, like it's something you have to do as a person. And so I feel like making chill music to kind of just like, I don't know, pull people into a moment and encourage everyone to just be in a moment, instead of, like, I always like tell people, I'm just like, be here, like don't put your screen in front of your face if you're with friends or with family. Like I just feel like making music to pull people together is really important, and to keep people feeling comfortable and like they don't need to be 10 places at once, which I'm still working on too. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to not feel the pressure of like where we are.
Yeah. So what do you listen to when you need to chill out?
I like to turn on, I guess it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm trying to be productive but chill, then I'll turn on like some old jazz, like some Ella Fitzgerald or Billie Holiday or Nina Simone or Louis Armstrong. But then if I'm like more in like a deep thinking kind of mood, it's like the Daniel Caesar or like Radiohead or Tom York, like with his like crazy sporadic piano pieces and stuff. So it's a wide range. It just depends on if I need to focus or if I'm trying to like let go of being too focused on something.
Yeah. So you obviously seems like a very wide range of influences there, and so that obviously leads to a bunch of interesting like tracks and layers and overdubs and stuff in your music. Mm-hmm. So what does your songwriting process look like? So I know you play some like keys. Mm-hmm. So how much of that is what do you lay down, and then how much of it like happens in the studio?
There's not one set process. I guess as an artist, I'm still trying to find like what works best. But it's like sometimes I'll come up with like a chorus or like the hook of the song with like the chords, and I'll bring it to my producer and be like, this is what I wrote last night. Like I don't have the whole song, but I like the way it's going. And so then maybe we'll either piece it off of that, or it could be totally opposite. Like he shows me a beat, like with the single that just came out, that was a beat that he created. And then I just kind of like had a lot on my mind and wrote it in like 20 minutes. And then like sometimes it's that easy. Sometimes I hate what I wrote and I want to just redo the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, there's not like a set like cookie cutter process yet. There might, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'll get into one groove, but for now it's all over the place.
Do you have one producer that you use consistently, or do you kind of have a team of people that you kind of go to here and there for different stuff?
Since I'm brand new, just one for now. And then we have a couple other local DJ producers that have been throwing me some really cool stuff. So it's good to like get out of your comfort zone.
Definitely.
Do like a ballad track and then like a dance track.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's cool. All right, so we're gonna do a couple more kind of more fun, kind of a little lighter than anxiety, mental health, and stuff like that. So obviously you're an Atlanta native. If you could play any venue in the city, which one would you do and why? Which one play there?
I have been going to Tabernacle a lot lately and Terminal West, and I feel like those are really great, like filled with good energy, and they're big enough but they're small enough to where the artist can be intimate with the audience. I feel like if you think of like Phillips Arena, it's just too massive, and that's like scary to me to think about that many people in a room. But I feel like you kind of lose that connection the bigger you get, and so those two venues to me are like really good, like good vibes the whole way through. Not to sound cliche.
I love both of them. I've had a bunch of great experiences both of those.
Yeah, I love any concert there.
Oh yeah. So if you were going on your, let's say called like a dream tour, and you got to pick two artists, any genre, any people, whatever, to be your support, who would you choose?
So to like open for, or just to be?
Oh, they open up. They're opening for you.
Oh,
you're the headliner here. This is when you're in Phillips Arena. being very scared of all those faces in
Yeah,
the crowd.
My hands started getting sweaty. I would choose Daniel Caesar. I talk about him all the time, but I'm just in love with his style. He's like a super humble dude. Not like I know him personally, but just from what I've seen, I love, like, he's a very raw artist. Like, he puts everything out there and is not afraid to experiment, and just busted out with a really successful EP out of nowhere. And each song is good. I love that album. So he would be on the list. And then Maggie Rogers is another one of my current favorites. She is just a really like pure and innocent and refreshing musical talent, and I feel like she is what I aspire to be, like, and not lose yourself in the whole process of getting fans or getting, like, don't ever lose like that raw piece of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that would be an awesome show.
Yeah.
I would definitely go see that.
I would hope. I would want to go.
So just to wrap things up, what are your plans for the end of the year and going into 2019?
Lots more music. We're releasing a lot of really exciting stuff coming up, and that will lead to an EP and then possibly an album next year. And then after that, I hope to be touring and showing my work to everyone and gaining new interest and learning a lot, and hoping I'm doing music full time by this time next year.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much for taking the time. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much.